Hey guys, David Caraccio here, and today we're going to be going over my thought process when it comes time to planning for retirement. But first, before we get started, I want to ask you guys to please hit the like button. The Facebook and the YouTube algorithms really like when people like or comment on the feed. So the more interaction you guys have, the more outreach I'll have, and the more motivation I'll have to keep making these free videos just for you. Retirement is one of those goals that most Americans have, and that's their dream, is to be able to come to a point where they can retire. The unfortunate thing is they don't start planning for that retirement until they're in the late 30s or early 40s, when it really sets in, okay, now I need to buckle down and get ready for retirement. In the real estate industry, a lot of us are self-employed. So when we actually start planning for retirement, it is solely up to us. And I've seen a lot of realtors who are in the business for 30, 40, even 50 years, and it's not because they don't want to retire, it's because they can't retire. They never planned early enough for that retirement time to make enough passive income. So now they're stuck chasing in the rat race, still trying to chase that next paycheck in order to live to the next month. Now, with other businesses, they do have retirement plans, but the unfortunate thing is that things can come up. The company could close, they could sell, and then you could lose your job. Or they can even fire you. I've seen this happen before, where someone who's gotten so close to retirement for that business, and they said, you're gonna have to move across the United States, and said, well, I don't wanna uproot my family. They said, oh, it sucks for you, but you're gonna be fired. So you wanna plan for your own retirement and make sure that you have your own means and your own plan, which we're about to talk about, to attacking your retirement funds and how much money you actually need per month. My wife and I got into real estate because I was doing a lot of research about passive income streams and trying to get control of your retirement and how to actually plan for your own retirement versus being reliant upon a 401k or even a business entity to give you your retirement funds for the rest of your life. So we started looking at passive income, and I found this great example of how to actually plan for it and kind of break it down to a more manageable idea or thought process. So when you actually start to look for retirement, you can comprehend what you're doing, because there's a lot of different ways to invest. But how do you invest correctly, and what type of return is that going to give that to you? So your first goal you want to do is come up with, what is your passive income goal? How much money a month do you need to retire? And for most Americans, and if you're in California, it might be a little different. Usually you're going to have to increase the money. But for us, for this example, we're going to use $3,000 a month. Now this is per person, so if you're married, you can have $6,000 a month coming in. Or if you're in California or upstate New York, or New York City, you can make it $6,000, $9,000, whatever you want to do. But what you're going to do is come up with how much money do you need per month to be able to effectively retire and not have to work anymore. You're going to divide that by 30, and that's going to give you how much money you need to make per day to be able to retire. So in a $3,000 example, you need, out of 30 days, you need $100 a day to be able to effectively retire. The reason why this is so important, understanding this simple math here, is because it breaks it down of your type of investments and how many days a month it's going to make you live for free. So for example, if you invest in a new startup business, and that business is going to give you $800 a month, that technically means you have 8 free days a month of living. You don't have to work for those 8 days now. You now have 8 free days of living. Once you surpass that, once you start getting into, let's say you have 3,300, now you have 33 days of free living, which means you have more free days of living than there are a month. And that's what you want to get into when it comes time to actually retire, is you want to make more money than you need per month, so you have savings building up as well as covering all your expenses. Now, there are a lot of different passive income streams. You could do a Roth IRA, you could do stock markets, you could do a startup business, you could invest in your 401k, or in our industry, you could invest in real estate. And this is where I like, because to me, it's a tangible substance. I could sell it if I want to, I could pull equity out if I need to, and I could ride the market trends of doubling the rents every 20 years, which is a huge factor when it comes to your retirement funds too, because you got to take into account for that cost of inflation. Now, I have a 10-year plan, and right now my wife and I are on our year 4, and we're trying to quickly hit year 6 all in the same year as well. But let me explain how this works. So when you find an investment property, our goal is to make $100 per door per month. So if it's a duplex, you should be making $200 per month. That's net profit for yourself to do whatever you want with. Now, because you're still working and you're not retired yet, you want to take these $200 and apply it and save it for your next investment. And you want to keep rolling that money in, because that eventually will become retirement money. But for right now, you want to continue to snowball it into the next house. And you're going to snowball towards the purchasing, and then you're going to return it, and you're going to snowball back and eventually pay them all off. So let me explain this. Year 0 is going to be your first year ever buying a house. You're going to be making $200 off this duplex. These are all duplexes that we're going off of. The numbers I'm running off is $1,000 per month per door in terms of the rental income, and about what did I do? Yeah, your payments would be about $1,300 to $1,400. That's kind of our scenario here in San Antonio that we come across a lot. So you're making $200 a month on your first year. Now you're gonna be saving up for that, for 2 more years from now. You're gonna be buying another property. So in 2 years you buy another property. In 4 years you buy another property. 6 years and 8 years. The catch is every single time you buy this property, you're making $200 extra a month, which means now you have 2 more free days of living. But since you're still working, you're gonna be saving that into a savings account, and you're gonna use that money as the next down payment for the next property. And you're gonna continue to snowball your actual net, which would eventually be your retirement income for the next property, because you're still working. The 10-year plan. So after 8 years, we're gonna change it up a little bit. Now, if you still wanna work for another 10 years, you can do this for another 10 years if you want, but this will get you to your net profit of passive income in 10 years, just after 10 years. It quickly compounds though. So after 8 years, what you're gonna do is you have $2,000 a month coming in, you're gonna withhold $600 for your savings or your expenses, your vacancy rates and your insurance, your taxes, and also your repairs, $600 a month. That's gonna give you $1,400 a month. Now that's if the property is paid off. So this entire time while these properties have been making you only $200 a month, you're also making a ton of equity in these properties as well, because your tenants are paying those mortgage payments. What happens is once you get to the 8-year mark, you're now going to take all of these $200 increments and apply it to your first mortgage. So now you're making $1,000 a month that's going straight to the principal of your first property you ever built or bought. What happens is once you pay off this property, now this total income of that $1,400 is now being applied to the second property as well as the $200 a month coming in from the other properties. So when you start attacking your second mortgage, now you're at $2,200 a month of profit that's going straight towards the principal. You're going to see that account, that principal balance, drop like no other. Banks are probably not going to be happy with you because your interest rate's going to drop as well, or not your interest rates, but the amount you're paying towards your interest is going to drop really quick. Once you get your second one paid off, you're going to be moving straight to your third, and you're going to snowball all your income straight into the third. Now it'll be $3,400 a month. Once you get to the fourth one, you'll be at $4,600 a month, and your final one is going to be $5,800 towards the principal. That's not towards the mortgage payment because you already have your mortgage payment coming from the rental income. That's $200 left over that you're now applying to this. At the very end, once you pay off all 5, your total income per month, and this is net because you're still withholding $600 per property for all the expenses, will be $7,000. So in the scenario of my wife making $3,000, I'm making $3,000, total combined income that we want to make to plan for retirement for passive income is $6,000. We've made it with this lineup. Now there are a ton of options out there for you to plan for passive income down the road, but the goal is that you actually understand how to break it down in investments. So when you're looking at one investment, and let's say you're burning down $10,000, right? If you put $10,000 in this investment and it gets you $500 a month, that's 5 free days of living. But if you go look at another investment, whatever it may be, and it says that it will give you $800 a month for that same $10,000, then pick that investment. But the thing is that when you start to look at retirement and you say, okay, I need $6,000 a month for my wife and I to retire, how am I going to make that's just a huge number. Like, how do I make that much money passive without putting in any type of work into it? And the thing is, you got to break it down per day. And I think by breaking it down per day and coming down to $100 increments, or in some cases maybe $200 increments, it will allow you to invest more with more confidence of why you're investing in the first place. A lot of times you get into this cycle of, okay, I'm investing, or I'm putting money towards this savings account, and I don't know why. Like, what is the return, or how much is it going to actually pay off to me at the end? But by breaking it down by $100 per day, it kind of gives you that understanding. Okay, this is going to give me 2 free days of living per month, and then if you start stacking that on with other investments, eventually you're going to be surpassing that 30-day mark. And once you pass that 30-day mark, congratulations, you actually technically could retire because you're making enough money, passive income, that it will cover all your financial needs for that year or that month, and it also allow you to have a little money left over for savings. So this is my platform, and this is my way of retiring in the next 10 years. Obviously, there's other means we're also investing in, Roth IRAs, stocks, and other things that my financial advisors is telling me to do. But I want to have control of my investments and my retirement. I don't want to wait on a 401k account to start paying out. I don't want to wait for a company to deem that it's necessary for you to retire. You want to take control of this and make sure that you have a plan of action. I want to thank you for watching our video. If you've made it this far, please hit the like button. And if you have any other ideas of other passive income streams that will allow you to get that $100 a day, please put that in the comments below and I'll be sure to reply. If you haven't already, hit subscribe if you're on our YouTube channel. We post about 2 to 3 videos a week and you'll be updated whenever we have new content coming out, free for you. If you want to set up a time to go one-on-one on your investment property or your portfolio, please give me a call at 210-771-1658. Until next time, I'm David Caraccio.